Welcome,
Morgan.
Morgan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me
Today
on.
is NASCAR Day, so Morgan is
NASCAR
here.
Day.
We're going to talk about
Yep.
the race today. Are they going to actually have it today, or is there going to be another rain
Uh,
out?
there is no rain. The rain went through on Friday. The weather's finally cooperating with us again.
Oh, we like it. We like it. We like it.
No delays whatsoever this week, so we're looking for some good racing.
That's awesome.
Now, obviously, the big thing with Daytona is always the crashes. There's always fucking crashes at Daytona.
Yep.
So, my question is that going to be the case every week, or is it just in the Daytona when they all crash?
So that's more gonna happen at the drafting tracks where the focus is you race bumper to bumper too wide the whole time.
Okay.
They're gonna be up in Atlanta this week, which they reconfigured in 2021 and turned it into a drafting track. So
Okay.
there's a chance that that happens. They were expecting that for the Xfinity race yesterday, and there was like two wrecks. Um, so we'll see. Atlanta's kind of like a hybrid track. It's a drafting track like Daytona, but it's only a mile and a half.
Mhm.
So the corners are tighter, and there's less room for the cars to really jostle side to side and get into those sort of accidents. So it's they're still sort of learning it because it's only like the third or fourth year they've done it. So
Okay.
um, expect similar racing to Daytona, but tone down the chaos just a bit.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what we
I
were
mean,
doing
I
there.
guess it's safer.
Yeah.
I guess it's safer for them, but at the same time, it's like, well, that's what the
Yeah.
fans want to see. I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Like
mean,
casual fans like the crashing. That's what
yeah,
people want. People want chaos and destruction. I don't care what they're saying. Oh, I want a big game. No, they want to see fights. They want to see, like in the Ranger game yesterday. Like as soon as the puck dropped, the rookie just started going at it with one of the guys on the the Flyers. It was great, and
Yeah.
it was like he's just wailing on the guy.
screw this hockey business.
That's
Yeah.
it, and it was funny. Like it was obviously planned because in the pregame skate, whatever, they're just talking to each other,
Yeah.
and then maybe they were talking shit you didn't see. You just saw them having a conversation, and then as soon as the fucking like game started, within like 2 minutes, just was like, all right, let's do
Gloves are
this.
off.
Yeah. No.
Gloves are off.
Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes that happens,
Rangers
man.
won 10 in a row now.
That's
They've
awesome.
tied their franchise record.
Wow.
So and they played Lightning won again two last night.
Yeah. It was
So
getting
and they
fishy
both
out
get
there.
back to back games. They both play today.
Yeah.
Rangers going for 11 straight.
Yeah.
Lightning looking back on track. So looking at the hockey standings real quick, not to take away from NASCAR. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
You're
Well.
good.
I got into hockey fights and then I just got right into hockey.
Yeah. It's
Right now, the playoffs teams are pretty much locked in. Like they're pretty safe. Like their positioning can still move, but like the teams behind them in the wild card are pretty
yeah. They're
far
like
far
7 points
behind. So
far
like,
back. That's far. 7 points. You
and
think
I hate
is.
to see it, and I hope it doesn't happen. But the Lightning might play the Rangers in the first round.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that because I want to see both teams go far.
Yeah.
But I would rather play in the conference finals than in the first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll have to.
Whatever happens. Like I said, we've discussed this before. Anything can happen. Hockey. They
Yeah.
literally had 2 8 seeds meet in the finals. So it can happen. But whatever. Still, hockey's got a couple more weeks left. But I was looking to put some money on NASCAR today, but having problems with the app. Big surprise. We all know how you had problems with the app, David, for a long time.
You're having
Maybe it's
problems
just
with.
my
You're having problems with the app.
maybe it's just destiny. I'm not supposed to. I probably shouldn't.
Then
Bet
I think I have to
on
go
the
in
game.
there and check. Maybe Morgan, you give me some insight, and I'll go to the app real quick, and I'll put the bet. Let me
Well,
see.
the race isn't the race starts at 3, so you've got
Yeah, I gotta add
few
some
more
money.
hours
I
if you
gotta
want
I
to
gotta deposit a little bit of money
troubleshoot
in
that
there.
app.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah, as far as like who to bet on, it's gonna be the same people as last week, honestly, because it's another drafting style track. Um, you got Michael McDowell and Joey Logano on the front row again, same as last week, just flip flopped. Michael McDowell got his first pole after 466 races, which that's a new record. Not that that's one you want to get. But hey, he got his first one. Things are looking up for him, and then Logano's starting second place. So those two are going to be strong.
Yeah, Logano and Blaney are the top two. And Kyle Busch is number 3rd. Denny Hamlin. These are names that I've heard before anyway.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott, But if there's a big wreck again, it could be anybody.
It could be anyone. I would. I don't know if I would put money on him unless you're looking for a long shot. But Corey LaJoie's probably, if there's no car trouble and no bad wrecks, he's probably going to be there at the end of this thing. Last spring, with like 10 to go, he was leading the race, and then at Daytona, he was up front a lot.
Corey
so
LaJoie, this is the the Ambetter Health 400. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it says Joey
in Atlanta.
Logano
He's
is the favorite right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're starting out front, you're less likely to get in accidents, because it's all going to happen behind you. It makes your odds better.
All right, what did you
but
say?
Also,
I saw his name. I'm gonna put a bet on him. That guy that you just said, Corey LaJoie, yeah, plus 4,000.
I will say, before you finalize that, he is a long shot. Like,
well, I was gonna do like $5.
The odds. Yeah,
I'm gonna put $10 on him to finish in the top 3. How about that?
Oh, can you do that on Hard Rock?
I could see it happening. I mean, it's plate racing, so really anything can happen. But he's been strong at this track.
Okay, I'm putting $5 to win 205. If I hit, Morgan, I'm giving you $50. All right.
I'd be fine with 10.
All right, let's go. I placed the bet. I don't care. Boom.
Yeah, he's probably like the most likely long shot. I would say.
I'm not gonna hurt with $5 going to a fun bet. Every week that's what I'm gonna do. Every week I'm gonna do a fun. Oh wait, there is a top 3.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah, welcome back, Dave.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Did everything come out okay?
Yeah, no. I had to get some water. I was dying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Get some water.
Yeah.
Get some water.
No, I actually had to put some laundry.
Bring the Browns to the Super Bowl.
That was the thing. Had a good.
Get an at-home can run.
No, I had some laundry that I had like sitting overnight, and that's the worst. So I had to throw that in the dryer real quick. And I said, "Oh wait, it's a little later than normal." Because I woke up at 7, so I was like laying in bed, and then everyone texts me, "Get on, you fucking lazy bum!" And that's the good thing.
Nice.
Everybody watching right now or watching the stream gets you some people that are dedicated, right? Like Morgan texts me at like 4:00 in the morning to tell me that he's ready for the show already.
Good. I was actually about 4 in the morning is when I woke up from the couch that I fell asleep watching a movie last night and then got into bed.
Yeah.
And then my girlfriend's like, I get up at like 6:30. She's like, "Wow, you just came into bed at 4?" I'm like, "I've been asleep since 11 o'clock." I just move locations. That's all. I believe me, I got plenty of sleep.
Yeah.
Because at night, you watch the games or whatever, and then after the game, you're just putting something on that I've seen 100 times because I know I'm not going to make it through it. Sometimes I don't even make it through the opening credits, and then I wake up and then the movie's over, and it's like sometimes the screen's just blank because it's been.
Yeah, I put Family Guy on, and then I just go to sleep. I just put some Family Guy on because I'm like, yep, I'm going to sleep. Because then I just look at my phone anyway, and then I look at the sports. But yeah, everybody, if you're watching, get you people that are dedicated because those are the people that are going to keep you going. Because I'm telling you, if they weren't there right there and they didn't text me, I would have been sleeping still. Because I went to sleep late as shit. But I wanted to talk sports with people, and we wanted Morgan on here to talk some NASCAR.
I set my alarm for 7, but I usually wake up before it, and then I make a quick breakfast. I make my pot of coffee, and then I head into the office.
John already knows me now. He knows that. He's like, I'm not gonna text David till 7:30 because I already know that he ain't gonna answer till about 7:30.
And when we went live on Saturday, I'm like, let's make it for 8 just to be sure. But we did start it a little bit earlier, and that was pretty cool. We went for about an hour and a half, right? So that was nice.
Yeah, an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, that was a good show. We had some people on. I posted it, so if they come, they come. But it's not about that. It's about us talking sports and getting people the knowledge and stuff like that. The people will come. The people will come to the show. It's kind of early. We're gonna have to.
Why not? You know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do some late shows too.
No, there's plenty of sports. Like I said, we're gonna do college basketball coming up soon. The March Madness is whatever in a couple weeks. And
spring training, right? Baseball's starting back up.
spring training, yeah. Yankees first game, 22-10. You know,
22-10. Wow.
well, I guess they were ready to get the things going. But like you look at the starting lineup, there was like 3 normal starters that was in it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not spring training is especially the first couple of weeks. It's not anything to get too excited about. Like you want to win, it's cool. You see like big numbers, but it's like the half of these guys aren't even going to be on the team. You know what I mean? Until maybe some spring call ups or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's exciting if you're a big baseball fan. I'm going to try to get back into it more this year. The last couple of years, even when I first moved down here, I was still into baseball, and I had package for the Rays. But then I think what turned me off is they started getting very expensive. But that's what happens when you get better. Like I would literally come down, I'd pay $50 and I'd get a 10-pack games where. It's like I could take 10 people to one game. It was called a flex pack, or I can go to 10 separate games for like $50, like $10 a game.
Yeah,
I can go to the day of, get up in the party section for like $13. Like I would just randomly go to games, and I also lived a little bit closer to the.
Yeah, they're in a terrible spot.
No, it'd be like $5 a game.
Now it's like a 2-hour drive, and like last year I had a chance to go to a free game because a buddy of mine had tickets, and I'm like, I'm off, but that's like 2 hours for me to get to the stadium from where I live now, and I really don't want to because at that point in the season, like the Yankees were terrible, and they ended up losing the game anyway, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't go all the way the fuck out there because and then like the beers are expensive, and the other thing was is I used to really like it because they used to have a cigar lounge in there. So what I would do is I would go to the games, my $10 seat, and I didn't even care who they were playing. Like they didn't keep count of, nobody went to the game, so you can sit wherever you wanted. So I go in the cigar lounge, I'd have a cigar, I'd watch the first couple innings, and then I'd sit wherever I want and have a few beers or whatever. And then they closed the cigar lounge, they said, whatever. And I'm like, well, this is bullshit. And then all of a sudden, like, for a flex pack, they wanted $150. And I was like, all right. And that was for like less games. So I was like, well, I'll do it one more year. And then after that, they wanted like $300. Then they stopped doing the flex pack. They just wanted to buy individual games. And like the cheapest tickets were like $40. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with you, Tampa.
Yep.
I'm done with the fucking Rays. And I'm going in. And then, whatever. I move out to Brooksville. So it's too far away now anyway.
Yeah.
But as far as watching it on TV, maybe I'll start watching it again at night. But probably not because we're going to be getting into in the beginning of baseball. Maybe I'll watch a game here and there, but almost every night you're going to have like playoff hockey, playoff basketball.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be watching baseball then. A couple of night races, right? In NASCAR, a couple of night races.
Yeah, there's a couple. I don't have the schedule off the top of my head.
That's okay. I know it's later in the season for sure. Night racing is crazy.
It's weird this year because so the NASCAR broadcast rights go first half of the season's on Fox and all of their sports channels. Second half is on NBC. Well, NBC has the Olympics, so there's just 2 weeks of no NASCAR this year that I'm gonna have to like drink through or something.
2 weeks.
Yeah, because the Olympics, and NBC's not gonna show NASCAR over the Olympics. Are you kidding me?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, I could see.
Is there any way to like figure it out, like to watch it still, like from some?
Well, no, they're not even running races.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like this, they're on pause for 2 weeks. Which, I mean, it's great for the drivers because they get like 2 weeks where they can like go home and spend time with their families instead of like they're out every week at all these different tracks. They get 1 or 2 days at home.
Yeah.
For the whole 36 weeks that they run, so it'll be nice for them.
Yeah.
Isn't Peyton Manning doing commercials for the Olympics this year? Which is interesting because football is not an Olympic sport.
Doesn't he do commercials for basically everyone at this point?
No, they're adding flag football to the Olympics.
Oh, they're trying to add flag football?
They're trying to add flag football to the Olympics.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
The Summer Olympics, I mean, I've watched. I like watching basketball, but I just like watching basketball. But other than that, like, I don't know. This I enjoy the Winter Olympics a lot more than I enjoy the Summer Olympics, like track and field and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like that
you like snowboarding and stuff like
even
that.
when you had Usain Bolt when he was like shattering every record, like even then it was like okay, it's racing. I don't know. I don't find a lot of that very exciting. The water sports are pretty interesting. Diving is pretty cool, but other than that, it's like, in the Winter Olympics, you got the curling, which is fucking. I don't know why that's so fun to fucking watch, but it is.
It's like darts, but with yelling. It's like it's the closest we're gonna get to professional shuffleboard, and I think every man alive wants professional shuffleboard.
If you've ever watched it, it's entertaining as hell. Like I don't even know why. I could be just sitting there drinking beers and watching fucking curling, and it's like this is fucking awesome. I don't even know why. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. But then the skiing with the jumping,
like the long jump,
the log jump. Some of the free style with the snowboarding is pretty neat. They're doing all these crazy flips and shit.
My favorite's the bobsled.
Bobsled is pretty crazy, and then the luge.
Yeah.
One of these days, someone's gonna. I mean, it's happened when once someone goes off the track and dies, but they don't show it anymore, which is I don't know. Americans don't understand that. Like we want to see violence, so I don't know why you don't see anybody falling off to their deaths.
If something's not exploding, I'm not watching.
Exactly. So, unless it's curling. You don't need explosions in curling. But then you also have the hockey, which is also fun. The women's hockey, that's pretty cool. So yeah, no, I definitely enjoy the Winter Olympics a lot more than I enjoy the Summer Olympics. The Summer Olympics are what they are, and like what's his name, Michael Phelps with all those swimming things. Like
you didn't like that?
Michael Phelps was. I don't know. I'm not excited about watching people swim. Like okay.
It wasn't like they were doing humongous laps. They were doing enough laps to get you interested. You know what I mean? It was like 2 laps. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, he's gonna be swimming for 5 hours on the pool.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was exciting because of how short it was and how fast he was. Like it was
like he's a goddamn fish.
He was like the. And then what made it even better, he was smoking pot the whole time, and that people got so mad that he was so good. And he smoked pot, and they said he shouldn't be smoking pot. You're like, shouldn't? That's like Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams should be high as a kite.
And he said, "I smelled my sweater and it needed to go into the thing." I'm like, it probably reeked of a lot of weed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this guy
this one's a little stale. Let me get that in the dryer.
This guy was smoking pot and still out breathing you underwater.
Right.
Like they hated that. They're like, yo,
you should have had him smoke more. You would have more of a chance.
Dude, yeah.
That's what I thought. It is like I said. It is what it is. The Summer Olympics just doesn't.
Yeah,
personally,
you don't like the track and field. You don't like the high jump.
Like I said, the only thing I'll watch is basketball because I just like the game of basketball. So, I enjoy watching that.
You enjoy the Americans dominating every year, no matter what. They had the worst year last year and still won the gold medal.
Yeah. I know.
That's how dominant the USA is in basketball.
Basketball? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They literally had the worst year. I didn't even know they were going to make it to the final round of the Olympics. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, they won gold. I said, how did they win gold? They didn't even win a regular season match. They're like, oh, well, when it got serious, they got for real again. And they dominated every country. Like it was... Like, they're just like, hey, you want to play pickup game versus us, the Americans? Like, what?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It is pretty funny how some of that stuff is. I watched that Olympics, and it was weird because, like, they lost. Like, they had a tough travel schedule. Like, half the team was still playing in the NBA final when they were trying to do, like, whatever. So then,
I think Bam was in the finals, and then he had to go over there and play.
Finals that had to go over there.
Yeah.
And then they played, and then it gave them a little bit to kind of, like, get used to each other. And then it was like they weren't – the rules are a lot different, so you can be a lot more physical. So you can't do a lot of the things you can do in the NBA. Like, you can't get away with it because you're allowed to defend them a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
But like, and I've said this before, like, these guys are the best athletes in the world for a reason. You know what I mean? So like,
they really
yes, they can do all these incredible things because the rules allow them to, but they can adjust too. You know what I mean? So, once they got into, by the time they got into like the regular season thing, and the more things, they've already adjusted to each other. They've already adjusted to the rules, and then just started killing everybody. So
that's all it takes.
What it takes
that's
is
just
being so good. Like, you think these people from the other countries come to America to play basketball because they want to leave their country? No, they're coming here because that's where they get paid, and they're so damn good that they're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, look at Joker. He rather be over there racing goats, and he's always mad that he has to be here.
His commercials. Have you seen? He has a few commercials now. They're hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
Like, he's walking through the thing with a horse. He's like, "Oh, this feels like a joke. Two guys on a horse." He's like, "This is a mini donkey." He's like, "This is a horse."
Yeah. You don't remember when he won the championship? He's like, "No, I don't go to parade. I go back home. I race my horses."
Well, they show his reaction when they won the championships. He just had a beer. He's like, "Yeah, cool." And then you see him when his horse won a race, and he's like fucking flipping his shit.
He did have a good time at the parade, though.
And then, like, I'll never forget when they're like, I don't think it was New York, but they're like, I guess it was maybe an NBA Finals, and they asked him, they're like, how do you think the crowd's been? Is this like electric? And he's like, bro, I used to play in Serbia. This ain't nothing. And then like they showed the crowd in Serbia, and it's fucking nuts. Like, literally, the entire arena is standing up, fucking jumping, going fucking nuts. Like, for the national anthem, and like all the players are sitting there, and like you could see the fucking building moving. Like literally every single fan just standing, jumping up and down, and fucking going ape shit. Yeah. And it's like,
dude, it's crazy to watch soccer.
Like these American arenas don't mean anything,
Well, I think there's just so many rules in America arenas that it's like this. It doesn't give us the opportunity to be crazy, because at home we can see fans when their team loses.
Say something to the players now, and they're like, "Oh, I want him ejected."
Yeah.
And there you go. They leave. They get ejected. They're like, "Okay, what did he say to you?" He said that you suck at basketball. Get him out of here. You're like, well,
you're soft, you're lazy. Oh, get him ejected.
Yeah, that's just proves you're soft and lazy.
I mean, that's weird. Like, I never could afford courtside seats, although I did go to a couple preseason games and talk shit to some players. But like whatever, they took it back then, But like in the years, I used to, when I was younger, talk some real shit to some baseball players, like to the fact where they looked like they wanted to come over and fight me, but they
would walk over with that bat.
Dude, baseball, you could do that easy, man, because you go right to the when it's like when you first come into the stadium in baseball, they're out there in the outfield warming up. So if you hit one of the outfielders, you can walk right up to that damn little gate and be like, "Yo, you fucking suck, man.
You suck."
Catcher for the Orioles one time, I was like right behind where he was like warming up, and I was like, "You're so fucking gay. You could probably deep throat that bat, motherfucker." And he's like, "What?" And then his teammates started laughing at him.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, when you're that close,
you suck. I was just like, my only question is, are you going to strike out on 3 pitches, or are you going to take a fucking ball?
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, I know you take balls, bitch. But yeah, like, that's the things. You could talk shit back then, and they were athletes. Like, that was kind of part of being a professional athlete. You're supposed to be able to take that stuff.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Take it because you know at the end of the day, it's not true, because you're in the national association of any sport, MLB.
Now players are a lot more sensitive nowadays. That's for sure. And fans could cross the line, but I mean, at the end of the day, is words really crossing the line? If you're throwing shit at them,
that's
you're if you're fucking with somebody's wife or someone's family up in the thing, you deserve to get kicked out. But if I'm talking shit to you, come on, man. Even if I'm being wildly inappropriate and racist and something that's like socially not acceptable nowadays, it's still just fucking words. You know what I mean?
Like man up and just ignore it.
Just ignore it. Exactly. Like
or talk shit back.
Or talk shit back, right? You white cracker, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't matter. Like I get, you know, the sensitivity thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
We're not racist on the show, okay, everybody?
You're right. Like and most people now should realize that you shouldn't say shit like that because you know that's just you're opening up a can of worms that you don't need to. But when people are young and drunk and stupid, they're gonna say shit that they don't necessarily mean because they want to get into the player's head, try and give their team an advantage or whatever. So, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, yeah, it was inappropriate, but it was just words. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. There's no actions behind it. You know, if you're talking, like I said, if you're talking shit or you're doing something physical to like you're throwing something at somebody or you know you're really messing with somebody's family, then that's a little bit different because that's more personal. That's more. But like I said, you can be talking shit to somebody. You talk shit to somebody. Believe me, these players talk shit to each other all the time. You know what I mean? Like you should ignore the fans, but like you know, but Luka got somebody tossed the other day for saying something, but meanwhile he's telling fucking you know. Probably Devin Booker that he's a worthless piece of shit and that he's going to fucking light him up like nobody's fucking business. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Because that's another player. Yeah. You know, these fans, whatever. So these fans are paying lots of money to go watch you play. And, you know, if they want to talk shit to you, then let them fucking talk shit. Whatever. Ignore it. Be the fucking bigger man. Because at the end of the day, you're still getting paid fucking millions of dollars to play this fucking game. Just so, you know, this motherfucker can, you know, pay, you know, in a way he's paying your salary because he's, you know, paying money for those seats. So, you know, like whatever. Stop being so sensitive and getting these guys out there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Maybe that's just because my generation grew up on busting each other's balls. But like, they are all hypocrites because they still talk shit to each other. So like, if you can talk shit to each other, you can take it. You know what I mean? So, I think they just need to stop this whole like, oh, he said something mean, he needs to go. Like, come on. Like, unless, like I said, unless he's throwing stuff at you or, you know, intimidating, like talking shit to like a family member that happens to be there.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking leave these guys alone, man.
Yeah, if it could be shit talking to anyone, don't be mad about it.
Right.
Either ignore them or prove them wrong.
The fan can call you a lazy, out of shape piece of shit, and you can get him ejected. But the guy who's guarding you is like, you're a lazy, out of shape piece of shit. And you're the easiest guy I have to guard all season. But you're gonna have to take that. You can't be like, ref, you gotta throw him out.
He's being mean to me.
He's being mean to me.
Technical foul.
You know how they settle this in hockey?
Fists.
All right.
The fuck you say about me?
Right. Now in hockey, they have the glass up, so they can't fight the fans. But you know, believe me, the fans fight.
Yeah, because they would.
Right, they would, and then the fans get kicked out because I've been to plenty of hockey games where, like, you know, some guys there, like I'm sure it happens in the Lightning. You know, some Ranger fans show up talking shit, and some Lightning fans are like, "Come here, we're from Florida, bitch."
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes down to that's crazy. Like I don't even know how hockey even accepted that to be in their like thing because like all sports need that.
Fighting.
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it does like the good thing about fighting and then both accepting the fight, which is crazy, is that like they are accepting the 5-minute penalty. Like that's okay because no one gets hurt. Like in that thing.
Punch me in the face. I can punch you in the face. We're gonna go sit down, and then you know. We're going to be out of the game for 5 minutes. We're going to get a timeout.
Yeah.
It's eventually a timeout for adults.
I don't know how they work that into that because, like, every sport needs that. Hey, you got to go sit down for 5 minutes now. You can't run any plays. So you're trying to get trying to fight. Josh Allen would be on the bench all the time because he's a little baby.
Right.
But but that's how did they even come up with it? Like, hey, you're allowed to fight. But you will be punished for 5 minutes. It started with,
you know, okay, why are there enforcers in hockey? Because, you know, teams might have a guy that's an incredible talent. So when you're an opposing team, you're like, well, how do I stop that? I'm just going to fucking check him. I'm going to beat the shit out of him. So you need someone to protect that person. So sometimes things get out of hand and they're like, all right, we'll just fucking fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How did that...
you know, I've heard arguments for both ways, how like they shouldn't allow it, but it gives teams momentum, and it does. It definitely gives teams momentum.
Absolutely.
You can see a team down 4-1, all of a sudden there's a fight, and then within the next like 5 minutes they tie the game because it's just a momentum builder.
Yeah, and it energizes them.
It just
like, you're gonna kick our guy's ass.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna fuck you up.
Right. Yeah. No. It's fighting is an interesting part of it. That's like I said, people. You don't want to encourage violence, but at the same time, sometimes if you throw hands, that's how you settle it.
There's some people that are really good fighters out there too, man. Like and they're on skates, and they're like, I've seen a couple knockouts. Like you're like, whoa, how did this even inspire? Like, how did this? That's what I'm saying. Like 1 minute you're literally skating, and then next minute someone pissed you off, and you're like, yo, throw the gloves off right now, let's do it. And it goes. And the other guy, and then now they're like this. You're like, whoa, how did that even happen?
Right, and I mean, you're on skates, and yes, there are guys that are really good at it, but you have helmets, and like it's not quite as
they punch the helmet off.
It's not like what I'm saying is it's not like other sports, like where like in basketball, like you just straight up, all right, let's go MMA.
Yeah.
Like, you might be right on, look at Draymond Green. He's just going to choke you out, or stomp on you, or whatever, that kind of stuff, like wrestling moves. So, it is a little bit different. Like it's a little bit harder to really like fight, even though like
but
guys
you have a helmet on, but you don't have. Not all of them wear the visors. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, and a lot of times they take them off, and then that's it.
Yeah.
A couple chin shots, and then just whatever. And then they like even the best of them, like eventually they tire each other. They tire themselves out because I mean it's tiring enough being on there, but like holding somebody and balancing and trying to throw punches. I mean it's entertaining for the fans, and it gets the teams riled up. But at the same time, it's just like. They're not going to go 3 rounds in a minute, like a boxer, because it's it's going to be over within a few seconds. And once it slows down, the refs come in and kind of break them up, and they're both at that point usually like whatever. And
they got it out of their system.
Although occasionally, and it's happened before, the ref comes in a little too early, and then the ref gets fucking popped.
Yeah.
That happens in boxing too. The refs like break it up, like, oh, and the next thing you know, the ref gets fucking slacked.
He gets cold clocked.
The ref's fucking dead.
That's funny.
And then the players are like, "You all right? That's what you get for making that bad call, man."
That's it.
Oh well. Well, anyway, we got a lot to watch today. Big busy Sunday. Basketball's got stuff going on, but I'm not watching that today. We got hockey, we got NASCAR. We got a lot of stuff going on this Sunday, and we're gonna be rooting for your guy Morgan, if that's your guy.
Yeah, Corey LaJoie. I always want to see him win. He's like, I don't want to say the good old boy. He's like, I started this shit from nothing.
Okay.
And I'm working my ass up to get this taken care of.
Gotcha.
So we're hoping he has the
Michael
fastest car on the
McDowell's
track.
sort of the same way too.
And we'll be watching, and we'll be making sure to lock those bets in, everybody. Make sure you lock those bets in. But yeah, we'll try to go live a little later on one of the weekdays so we can see if, like, sometimes people are not even awake right now on a Sunday. It's not even not even 9 o'clock yet in the morning. People are still getting their nightly Z's, and you got to get a little Z's in, especially on the weekends when you worked all week. So we will still post this up. We appreciate you coming on, Morgan, talking to us about NASCAR. We did the NASCAR special, and if you have anything else on NASCAR you want to talk about, you can always just do it right now if you want. If not, you say, "Hey, I'm good. All the NASCAR has been informed."
We got everything covered.
Okay, perfect.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right, thanks, Morgan, again. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday for the next race, right? Is that the next race is Sunday?
It's gonna be every Sunday until the Olympics, I think.
Okay, so good. We got a race every week.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
so maybe you'll get
about it. And we'll get more in depth with the cars. You'll tell us about the engines and things like that.
Yeah,
tell us about the drivers.
What did you think of the Daytona? Did you get to watch it, Morgan? The last one?
I watched the whole thing.
I had to work. I was actually kind of bummed that I didn't get to watch it because it was moved to Monday, but Dave watched it. So
you didn't miss much. It was kind of bullshit.
Okay.
So it turned into a fuel mileage race. So everyone was trying to save fuel. They were running around the track at half throttle at some points.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I didn't watch that
Yeah,
part. I
so
only
like,
watched the end when it got
yeah,
crazy, like I always do. That's
yeah. So
me.
that wasn't the best, but it was still racing. It was still fun at the end, but
Yeah.
it's a race. Pedal to the ground, please.
Yeah.
Makes
Waste that
sense.
gas. I don't care. It's not like you don't have a
Right.
bucket over there filled with it and your little big red fucking fuel thing. That big
So yeah,
ass.
race starts at 3 today, and then
Very
next
nice.
week they're out in Vegas.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Yeah, like if you want to break down for people eventually, like saying, hey, like, because you told me, like, when I was, like, asking about Frankie Muniz, you're like, oh, he's got a slow car today. Like, how does that work?
Yeah,
The
I got
sponsor.
you.
Yeah, because, like, that's what I want to know. I want to know how Frankie Muniz is, like, a superstar in, Malcolm in the Middle and stuff like that, and he can't get a sponsorship to get him some engine parts, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when I'm watching racing, so you're telling me that the sponsor. So okay, one more question before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The sponsorship pays for the parts, but what is qualified on a checklist every race, right? Because it's every race is a different checklist, right?
So the sponsorship doesn't go like, hey, you're sponsoring the brake discs. It doesn't really work like that. It's more like, we're gonna sell this part of the car. You're gonna give us that money for
Yeah.
us to do what we want to do with it.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to sell yourself to these sponsors, like, hey, here's why it's a good idea to put your brand on our car. Um, here's how we do each week. And obviously, like, a sponsorship on a car for the Daytona 500 is going to be worth more than a race that not as many people are going to watch, because
Right.
more eyeballs are on your
Oh,
product for the
imagine
500.
imagine that each individual race is a different price for
Yeah,
the sponsor.
absolutely.
I mean, it's like I might have to pay $1 million for a sponsor on this car, but on the next week I'm only paying 250,000 for the same
Right.
thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then there's sponsors that are like, hey, we really like this driver, so
Yeah.
we're gonna stick with we're with you guys because you have this driver. Like Eric Almirola, he used to race the 10 for Stuart Haas Racing. He always had Smithfield or Smithyfield, whichever it is, the bacon people. He always had them on his car. Even when he was at a different team, and when he moved teams, they went with him because they liked him as a driver. He's retired. They aren't like the main sponsor on any cars anymore. They've sort of dialed it back because the driver they liked isn't running anymore.
Interesting.
And
Very,
then
very interesting.
yeah, and then you've got guys like Michael McDowell or like Jimmy Johnson who had the same sponsor like their whole careers
Hmm.
outside
So
of one or two different things. Like,
okay.
you hear Jimmy Johnson, you're like, oh yeah, he drives the Lowe's cars, or like
Yeah.
Tony Stewart, he drives the Home Depot car,
Yeah. But okay, so there's no regulations then on parts.
There are, and I'm
Okay.
gonna have to pull those up because they can
Okay.
get very specific. Like, before each race, these cars get like laser scanned in a
Okay.
in a scanning station, and if they're off even like the slightest, they have to fix it
Okay.
or
So
they
there's
can't race.
yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to know. So
Yeah, I'll have that for you next week.
next time they go there and get all that information on like what part, because like I want to know. I know people want to know because like if everyone's driving the same as that car, then it would be a lot closer, right? But since you said
Yeah, and
is there a okay? One also question because I like to know a lot of things. Like I like to like in depth things. I'm always like I get too much into it. But is there a minimum qualification also? Like you have to have this on your car, or it doesn't. You don't pass it. Also,
yeah, they
like
they they have they have a weight range they have to
okay,
be in. Obviously, you're not going to make your car as heavy as possible because then it goes slower.
yeah,
But there's minimum weights, and then within that tolerance, the teams can choose, like, they have ballast, which kind
yeah,
of works how it does on like a ship. So they can choose like where in the car they want the weight, which affects how
yeah.
it turns.
Okay,
and then there's different like engine tunings they can do to get the most out of the RPMs and all that. And that's really where the speed differences come down to, is just like technical knowledge in the garage and
That's
how
what I'm
can we sort
thinking.
out more that's still within the rules. Back in like the early days of NASCAR, there's a driver named Smokey Yunick, probably the most cheatingest man in NASCAR. So like they said they went,
would always cheat.
yeah, like it wasn't cheating because it wasn't a rule yet.
Yeah.
So he was like, he was going as far as he could. There's one point when they went up to him, they said, "Hey, your fuel tank is too big. You need to make it smaller." So he said, "Okay." He shows up the next week with a smaller fuel tank, and then he wrapped the fuel line around his car like 3 times so he could put extra fuel in the fuel line before it actually made it to the tank.
Wow.
Like I'm sure like half the rule book is written because of this man.
Yeah. But
That's
hey, like you
hilarious.
said, it's
Yeah.
not cheating if it's not a rule yet.
Right, so that's why there's like so many rules and like
Because that's what I'm thinking. You're like, hey, this car is running really fast on this track, but really, it's the technology of what that pit boss is in the shop is doing. Because like I'm thinking to myself is like, hey, Frankie Muniz, I don't know if he's the best driver, but damn well shouldn't be in 35th place. You know what I mean? But
right, well that's the thing, because like all of the full-time teams, they have drivers on contracts the same way that you've got like a quarterback on a contract. You can't just swap them out whenever you want to.
yeah,
So he's like working his way into the sport. He had to find a team that had an open seat, which means you're probably not going to have the long-term sponsor to handle your R&D setups and stuff like that.
yeah,
And plus, yeah, he's a big name as an actor.
yeah,
He really hasn't been racing for that
yeah,
long, so you're not gonna like, oh, I'm gonna, put all my eggs in one basket here.
yeah.
So there's just a lot
No,
of
that's what I'm
stuff to
saying. There's a lot
go.
of things that I want you to go and like research and then come back, because I'm telling you, the NASCAR you could talk for hours about it, how it works,
Oh,
because you can
absolutely.
pinpoint like just like in football. But a lot of people know football. Not a lot of people know NASCAR, and not a lot of people know golf and stuff. So like when we start talking
Yeah.
golf and things like that, we want in depth. We want to be the person that like has, because that's what me and John were talking about. We're like, hey, Sundays are for Morgan. It's NASCAR. You know what I mean? Let's get Morgan to be like the guru. He already knows NASCAR. He knows the ins and outs. He knows what the rules are. He watches it, and that's what we want. We're building that at Butcher and the Beard. We're building people
Yeah.
that are the best at what they know, their craft. You know what I mean? Me and John, we know football, we know basketball, we know baseball. But hey, I don't really know NASCAR. John really doesn't know NASCAR, but you do. So bam, you come in
But
here now.
I'll watch
Yeah.
I'll watch NASCAR. But yeah, you know what I mean.
I'll watch
So
NASCAR. Yeah, like I said, we talk about April coming up, man. You're gonna have the March Madness, even though it goes well into April. Basketball heading up, and then heading into playoffs. Hockey heading into playoffs. You got the Masters, which is a big golf tournament. I'm gonna
Yep.
try and get more into golf. I'm kind of following it a little bit more than I have, but like the Masters is always like, even though they play all year round, like that's
It's the golf.
the golf tournament. Like it's similar to NASCAR in that like the Daytona, their Super Bowl is the first race. Well, the Masters is their first start of the new season, and it's the new year, which is in April. And like I said, they play in all the year, and then that's going to be fun. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. I'm excited for a lot of different things coming up, and now we have NASCAR up and going. We're gonna have baseball up and going. So we're gonna have a lot of content. So our shows are gonna get longer. But you know what? Listen, follow. If you have a long drive, or just you're not doing it or whatever.
That's what I do. I put you guys on my drive to work.
Yeah, there you go.
If you don't finish, at least it's a watch. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, then I just listened to it on the way home at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we're getting longer, we're getting more information, we're getting more. That's what we're trying to build. Like it started off with just being like, hey, let's talk about sports, but now we want to talk about sports. We want to talk about the track. We want to talk about the slickness. You know what I mean? You're like, we're building that as this brand comes to Butcher and a Beard, is building you to be like, hey, it's a talk show, but also it's literally an informative show. You want to come on here and you want to be like, wow, I didn't know that the NASCAR did this. I didn't know that golf did this. I didn't know football did this. And we're getting our opinions at the same time, and our criticism and stuff like that is our opinion. But at the same time, we still want to be informed about things that are going on, because like I have no idea that like, because I've been for years like, I'm like, how is that guy so damn slow? How is his car so how is the guy in first place 3 laps over the last place. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Like, I'm like, even playing the video games in NASCAR, I'm like, how am I blowing this guy with Jimmy Johnson or freaking Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt? You know what I mean? How am I? This guy shouldn't even want to be on the track if he's getting 3 laps. You know what I mean? He should just go to pit road, tell him.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I might finish in last, but that last place check is probably more than I'm going to make in a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But how do you like?
How does it feel to be finished in last place? Man, it feels terrible to cash that $800,000 check.
You just wipe my eyes with my hundreds.
Yeah,
right.
I get why they do it for the money, but like dude, like I met some racers in my life, man, and you want to talk about backwood cocky motherfuckers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that you think that like back in the day, like they want to fight each other as bad as we were telling them to fight each other, but like you said, they don't want to lose a sponsorship because they try to be, they like, oh, so Joey Logano came out there and he kind of made that turn that hurt you because that one guy kind of had to get out the way. Now he crashed into you. How do you feel? Well, I'm just going to sit here and take what I got to take. And, but really want to say is like, yo, that shit happened again, man. I'm fucking his ass up. That's what he really wants to say. You know what I mean? But he just.
That's the good thing. Like with NASCAR, like they can wait for payback. Like, oh, you spun me out. Well, guess what? Now it's the playoffs and you need to win. I'm just going to give you a little nudge and turn you around and now you can't win the championship because you screwed me over back in February.
Yeah, dude, it is. That's why they hold their tongue because they're like, oh, I can't wait to rub your
they settle it on the track.
That's what they call. That's what they call keeping receipts. You know what I'm saying?
Keeping receipts, man. Because if I was a driver, I'm competitive, and when I like when I'm out there on the track, even going to a go-kart place, bro, like I'm gonna be fucking. I'm trying to.
I'm putting you on the wall, motherfucker.
Yeah, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. We all should go. If Morgan's ever down here, we'll get some people. We gotta do Top Golf still. That's getting done soon. So if anybody wants to do Top Golf, we're doing that. I'm gonna put that thing on there and be like, hey, meet us at Tampa. Maybe one of these weekends for real. We all go to Top Golf. And when Morgan comes down, we'll go to the indoor track over there on the Grand Prix in Tampa, and that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, smoke your ass.
Hey! I want to get enough people so that we can all race each other because it goes by time. Because, which is so stupid because no lie, I lapped somebody one time and they won first place because they had the better lap. I'm like, I just passed this person 2 laps in a row. Well, they had the best lap time for one time. You're like,
what?
Yeah,
that's how
you gotta find the places that have like actual racing and not just
because it's
lap time.
Do you get to fight the judge afterwards?
Yeah,
that's grab the flag from him and shove it up his ass.
That's a computer system.
You're wrong. I lapped this guy 2 times. Yeah, but he had the one best. All right, we're dropping the gloves.
Yeah,
right.
I'll look for some places around here.
I'm gonna take off my seatbelt and get out of this race car.
Yeah, I'll look for some place that actually race. For sure. But yeah, all right, everyone. We appreciate you guys. We love you. We got to get out of here. I got to go do some things today. Everybody go enjoy the race. Thank you, Morgan, again for coming in, man. Butcher and the Beard, we are here to stay. We are here to get you guys informed, and we love you all, man. Make sure you guys are subscribing. We'll be live on Kick probably. We'll probably do the weekends live. We'll put you thing, and then we'll do. Yeah, why not? And then we'll do one day a week at the afternoon, like maybe a night shift on one of John's off day. Me and John will go live at nighttime to see how that crowd is, but we'll definitely be on live on the weekends because it's fun. We get longer shows, and we'll post this if you miss it. So we appreciate you. Everybody say we're out. Say we're out, Morgan. Say some NASCAR stuff. Say some NASCAR things. Say start your engines or something like that.
Vroom.
Yeah, boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.